So I'm like, yo, AB, you mind moving your car? I'm gonna get out of here soon. And he's like, oh yeah, man, here. Throws me the keys to his Rolls Royce. And I'm like, what?
You should just take it off.
Right? So I go hop in the Rolls Royce, and brother, this is a spaceship. I do not know what is going on. I don't know anything. I don't know where the ignition is. Slow roasted, or what the hell do you call it? I don't know. Chicken in a holy shit, dude, my brain is not working. in a roaster, what's it called?
A crock pot?
A crock pot.
Jesus Christ.
I've got the notes up here, but I mean, they're pretty much so random. It's like, this is like, just, you could tell that both of us were just in like deep, entrenched daydreams during half of these thoughts.
Bro, like, I'll just be sitting at work and I'm like, oh yeah, we should talk about that. I was sitting in the shower this morning. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm reading like that's exactly what happens. And the complete like contrast from line to line on these.
Yeah.
They're so random.
Also, some of them I was like, I don't remember putting that in there. I'm like, oh yeah, Jackson, this is Jackson's notes.
Okay, I'm drinking Spotted Cow tonight. Or wait, no, this is Moon Man.
Best New Glarus beer.
You think so?
I think it clears Spotted Cow. It's one of those scenarios where it's like, it's a good beer, but if you buy into the hype, you'll probably be disappointed when you drink it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And then,
yeah, I'd agree with you.
I just think Moon Man's a superior beer. Had it on tap in Milwaukee or Appleton.
Yeah.
Madison, excuse me. I forgot what Wisconsin town I was in this summer, but Moon Man on tap was wonderful.
Dude. See, I'm with you on the fact that no one should go. If you want to enjoy one of these fine New Glarus brewed beverages, go into your first tasting with no expectations and just let the beer choose you. I don't know though, because
right.
I feel like I've always really enjoyed Spotted Cow, and I feel like maybe there's a sliver of less enjoyment when I drink Moon Man. Just a sliver.
Sure. Well, it's also different beer type.
Preference.
Like I think,
yeah.
Well, Spotted Cow's like an ale or a lager or whatever, and I think Moon Man's technically an IPA. So it's just different kind of things. Yeah.
I don't know. Good regardless.
Could be wrong.
And this packaging, like, can you get more like unique and distinct?
It rocks, man.
It's so good.
I also, as far as like exports from one state, Wisconsin might have a stranglehold on beer.
Yeah, I mean, beer and cheese, right, man? I mean, it's every town you go to, every city you go to. It's it reigns supreme. It's like,
well, I mean, even like the big ones they produce, Miller Lite, my favorite everyday beer, PBR, Milwaukee product. New Glarus would probably be a giant brewery if they expanded outside of Wisconsin, but I respect the hustle to stay in there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I guess if there's one thing to be known for, beer is like, I guess it's not a bad thing, but it also is a bad thing when I think, what do we have, like 16 of the top 20 drunkest cities in the country? That's embarrassing. I mean, the rest of them are here. Yeah, exactly. I think I saw the list. It was like the 2023 list or something, and I had lived in 3 of the top 5 towns or top 5 counties. I'm like, golly, that's not a good sign.
Well, and if Chicago wasn't so big, you'd probably hit that too. Like per
100%.
capita wise, they'd definitely be up there.
Check that off the list. Dude, I miss Chicago so much. I don't know if I could live there past age 30, but if I could live in Chicago right now, I would absolutely love to.
It's like Minneapolis, but actually cool.
Hey, man. What do you got
Dude,
against the MSP?
I love MSP, and I love the people, and I love the things to do. The nightlife is severely lacking from all of my experiences.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I'm with you. If you're looking for, like, city nightlife, Minneapolis is definitely not it. But if you're... I don't know, if you know what you're kind of going for and have a decent idea of what you want to do, then we're in a different little scenario. Like, for example, I don't really go out in the city, but there's certain like pockets around the city and whatnot that are really fun to go to for certain things, you know?
Yeah, I'll need that advice because I'm coming to I'm going to be in your city.
That's right.
This
Next
weekend.
weekend, right? This weekend?
This weekend. Yeah.
I'm going to... Oh, wait. This upcoming?
Mm-hmm.
Dang. I thought you were coming the weekend after. Oh.
No.
So,
this weekend.
Okay. Sweet. That works great then. Well, I guess I don't know if we've started the pod here, but for those who don't know, Zach and I are kind of working together a little bit on the side in addition to this, and we're getting Zach the old iMac all set up in his place, so he's gonna be rocking and rolling here. Dude, this new computer that I got is incredible. I'm so excited about it.
Computers are one of those things that you don't really like. If you're using it for technical purposes, you really don't know what you're missing until you try the top of the line.
Oh my God. And especially when I had no idea, I didn't know anything about computing power and RAM storage and, XYZ there until probably the last 2 years, 3 years. And 2 years ago, I was doing I edited my entire thesis project, which was a 30-minute documentary film on a MacBook. Like, that just had
insane.
It was nuts. Like, literally a 13-inch MacBook, like this. And
I literally think I'd have a stroke, dude. The way that like hurts my eyes to edit on my laptop.
Oh man, I found like a decent little setup with like connecting it to an external monitor and stuff, but just like the performance and when you're dealing with a 30-minute film and all that stuff, it just gets to be a lot. But anyway, we've upgraded. You have a Mac Mini that you use for work, right?
Yeah, and I love it. Like, I mean, besides the like actual functionality of an actual iMac, I just connected like a cheap $250 monitor and it works great. But
anyway, people don't care.
Apple is like so far superior in every product they make, man. Like, it's insane.
Especially for what we do. Like, it's bar none. And I mean, for one thing, like all the graphics and all the, like just how quick things work, like in terms of, when you're doing like render speeds for me, like doing animations or like any sort of video, anything, it's like, oh my God, incredible. But also what I love is just the capability to be able, in the accessibility to go from device to device to device to device.
That's the
and like airdropping files, like airdropping 4 gigabyte files from my phone to my computer in like 2 minutes or less. Like, it's incredible. Anyway, people don't care about this, man. Or maybe they do. Maybe we'll find a really cool niche maybe on YouTube here or something.
The boys is riffing. They can tell us how stupid we are. I feel like that's a community that would like shame us.
Probably.
Look at these gorillas talking about how good Apple is.
Oh my God, Jack Albrecht, if he's watching this, would absolutely hate what we just said, right? Because isn't he like super anti for like his devices and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of just a contrarian to begin with. So like, if people like something, he's not going to. That's kind of the basis of it all.
Missy Jack.
I love that guy, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude.
love Jack.
I'll do an actual jump our feet in here. This is episode 2 of the Role Player Pod.
Boom.
I'm Zach. This is my buddy Jaxon Brown. Jaxon Brown, I like to call him Reverse Deshaun Watson. Jax on Brown. Get it?
Boo. That's you. Did you write that down? You had that prepped?
No, that's off the dome.
Okay, all right. Yeah, we'll give you a golf clap for that, I guess.
I
if it's
appreciate
off the
that.
Dome.
I was deciding if I wanted to go the direction of like jerks off in a UPS truck, or if I wanted to go for Deshaun Watson. Yeah,
I mean,
but
yeah, both of those are. That's a tough choice for me, huh? Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for the intro, Zach.
Welcome.
He is Zach Willis. I am Jaxon Brown. I am frigid in my basement here in Minneapolis. It is real cold, as I'm sure it is up there, and this newly finished basement that we are renting is not the most insulated. So I think my nips could cut glass currently, but we're here in the green light.
Minus 22. I love it.
Minus 22 right now in Fargo.
Minus 22 when I walked my dogs this morning.
Yeah, it was for me. It was minus 16 and felt like minus 28. So I don't know what yours felt like, but my maybe we can put in some B-roll here. My beard was completely frozen. Last week it was. Last week it was my beard had gray hairs in it. This week my beard is just frozen. But the dog's got to get walked. You know, my dog doesn't poop anywhere.
Oh my god!
In the yard until we go for a walk. We have to go for a walk for her to poop. She's like self-conscious about pooping in the yard. Is that normal?
Yeah, dude. My dog, I think so. Like my older dog, my French bulldog, doesn't poop within like a 100. If he can see the door to our apartment, he will not poop.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder why they just like to keep their own space nice or what?
I guess so, but like he's also getting to the point where he's like, man, I'm 6. If it's cold and I'm not going to poop outside, I'm just going to poop in your house. So like he'll lays, but not where he's like walking to go where he lays.
Come on, man. Come on.
Truthfully, I don't blame him though, man. Like he doesn't make a mess. He's respectful about it.
He doesn't make a mess in the house? What do you mean?
No, but it's like he's never
It's
like
just
ass blasting.
It's a quaint pile of
Yeah.
It's just a nice little... Sorry.
People are not going to listen to this shit.
I don't know why anyone would listen to this, but
It's
off
true.
to a real organic start here.
Yeah. Should we get into the list, the notes?
Let's get into the nitty-gritty here.
Yeah. First, I actually wanted to... So I'm coming for a bachelor party this weekend. It's just me and 2 buddies. So real low-key. We're going to the Shane Gillis show
Come on.
Saturday night. And then I think we're just... Like, you know me. I'm a dive bar guy, like, through and through. Mm-hmm. So I just need to find... But I'm also a bar hopper. So if I can find a pocket of, like, 4 to 5 bars that are within walking distance, I'll be set for Saturday night.
Dude, I mean, you came to the right person, man. Where is the show? Do you know? Is it at
I think it's a Target Center.
Target Center? Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
I was gonna say either that or the XL Energy Center where the Wild play, but that's in St. Paul. So you're in Minneapolis, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, so definitely I'm going to recommend you going to Northeast Minneapolis and going through some of those neighborhood dive bars. You're going to have an absolute blast, and they're all packed out, and they're the biggest what's the word or the term, melting pot of cultures I've ever been to. Like you'll get
Hell yeah.
75-year-old bikers. You'll get college kids from the U of M who are there's like a dance floor in the basement that is kind of new in a couple of these where they try to attract the college crowds. Anyway, whatever.
Sure.
But all of these in Northeast, for whatever, are karaoke bars, and they go like 4, 5, 6 nights a week. And they're always
shit.
ripping karaoke, and that is my shit. Not only do I enjoy listening to some horrendous karaoke, some good karaoke, but if you get one too many gin and tonics in me, I might even have to step in on the mic. What's your go-to karaoke
year-round
song if you
G&T?
had to? No, I just came up with that on the spot. I actually hate gin. I hate gin. So, what's your go-to karaoke song if you had one?
Ooh, I mean, karaoke is kind of like being a scout team football player. Like, don't be a hero. You just need to do what's asked of you. Do something. Find your role and fill it well. Let's tie it back into this podcast.
Do your 111.
So you can't go too. Yeah, exactly, man. Like, you see the people go up there and you hear like Bohemian Rhapsody start. And you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Come on, man. Know your role. Yeah, that's not a role play.
I think the perfect song, besides the length of it, is Piano Man by Billy Joel. Because it's not that hard to sing, but it does get all the boys fired up. The only downside is that it's 9 minutes long.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's like, can you make a sped up version or something?
Right. Just cut out the back half of it. We only need the first part.
That's a good one.
But I'm usually
go ahead.
I'm usually a country guy, truthfully.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
like,
I mean,
yeah, like Zach Brown band or yeah.
Sure. Those are a lot. I feel like those typically go over a lot well rather than something, a little more up tempo, fiery.
Yeah.
Those are harder to capitalize on. But
Yeah,
I personally, I've had a couple different go-tos in my day. If I'm duetting, it's No Air by Chris Brown and Jordan Sparks. Fun fact, did you know Jordan Sparks and Christian Watson are cousins?
I was gonna say I feel like I didn't know it was Christian, but I thought there was some relation to somebody. That's crazy.
I'm not sure if they're first cousins, but yes, you heard it here first. Jordan Sparks and Christian Watson are cousins. Anyway, No Air by Chris Brown and Jordan Sparks was my typical go-to. If it's a duet, if it was a solo,
Can we sing that together this weekend?
I'm so down, dude. You gotta
I'll
learn
do the Jordan Sparks version.
Okay, perfect. See, last time I did this though with someone, they did not come prepared, and they left me hanging.
That's
so
a real
I had
bummer.
to take both parts. Parts. Pat Reardon, if you're watching this, that's you, man. That's you, man. Boo, Pat. Okay, but solo, it depends on the mood. If we're, in a little bit more grungy of a bar, I'm going Creed. I'm going Creed either higher or with Arms Wide Open. It's one of those two.
Yeah.
But if it's like a more up-tempo environment, maybe a little more urban city environment, we're going to go Let Me Love You by Mario.
Quite possibly the most insane list of songs ever compiled for any purpose. What are you talking about? Oh my God. I wouldn't listen to that if it was a playlist of the actual people singing. You're telling me you're going to try to sing that to me when I'm 9 Jim Beams deep?
Oh, man.
Has nobody ever told you that's insane?
I mean, I'd tell you personally it's insane. It's just,
You know what, though?
We,
that is the vibe, though, right? Because, like, karaoke, you have to not give a fuck to a certain level. Go sing what you want to sing.
And my thought is, usually if you want to be entertaining in a room and you want to get the most out of a room, you got to read the room. You got to read the room.
Right.
So it's like you can't be it's like, sure, I'm confident in singing some Jordan Sparks, Chris Brown, Mario, but if I'm in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, and you know, not many folks in the crowd know what we're talking about, and we might be diverting to, like, you know, Red Dirt Road, or maybe Amarillo Sky.
Yeah.
You tell me.
Yeah,
man.
the old country always plays because like none of them were actually really good singers. So yeah, if you go George Strait, you know,
Sure,
that's gonna be if country music side of the internet finds that, they're gonna be mad. But like, listen to them; they're not like that talented of singers. It's actually just like the storytelling and shit they're talking about.
Yeah, and you throw a little Southern draw on it, and you're gonna get some ears listening.
Other great duet song karaoke is "Picture" by Kid Rock and Sheryl Crow.
Oh, yeah, that's phenomenal. That's really good. Yeah,
and if you hit a really, really dark, like sulking room, you hit them with Whiskey Lullaby, little Brad Paisley, Alison Krauss.
See, I know that song, but that's not one I could pull off for karaoke, you know.
It's a depressing song.
Excuse me. Speaking of depression.
Yes, you called.
If you had to bet next month's mortgage on it, or rent, whatever you're doing currently.
Yeah, I understood.
Who would you bet gets a NFL championship ring first? Jordan Love or Justin Herbert?
This is actually a really tough question, man, because like...
See, I thought you would have jumped on me for even putting them in the same conversation, but I think they're in similar conversations.
Yeah, it's just like... It's truth. I've already been arguing about quarterbacks online all day today, but I do it
do you
to
want to
myself, and I
divert
hate
into
it every
that
time.
tangent? No, stick on this tangent, and then we'll divert to that tangent.
I think in the grand scheme of it, I would rather have Justin Herbert leading my football team. And that is, I'll understand that that's some bias, right? Of watching him and seeing him do what he does week in. Because he's truly the only quarterback that I watch every snap of every week, right?
Right.
But I've seen him throw to Jimmy Kaporis and make it work. You know what I mean? Shout out.
Shout out Jimmy Kaporis. If anyone listening, I mean, probably our only listeners all know Jimmy Kaporis. So shout out Jimmy, man.
Scrappy dude.
What do you think he's doing right now?
Nothing legal. Something that he'd get mad at us for saying he's doing.
Probably true. Anyway,
yes. I like this show rocks.
Oh man.
I really think like but it's all situational around them. Like the Packers seem bought in and for the most part have a great foundation to build around him and highlight Jordan Love. Mm-hmm. And I think Love falls more into, again, we're going to talk about this guy, but I think he's a more talented quarterback than Jalen Hurts, but falls into that same category where it's like the situation's perfect, he'll go deep.
Oh, for
Whereas
sure.
We haven't seen the actual winning, like the grit your teeth and like, I'm going to throw 80% for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns today to win this football game like you see with Joe Burrow, you see with Pat Mahomes, see with Josh Allen from Herbert. But I think if, again, has the right setup and even just a couple weapons and a semi-decent offensive line, I think along with the context of what Harbaugh's doing, some aging contracts that are eating up like 20% of the cap being gone, I think it all just depends on how fast the acceleration with Harbaugh happens.
Let me kind of edit the question here. If you were okay, well, this is interesting. if you were to start a team from scratch, new expansion team, the Zach Willis Walruses.
Feels like an attack. Unnecessary.
Oh, fuck.
Fuck
The Zach Willis Walruses. If you're to start over a new franchise, by the way, you guys are based out of Cody, Wyoming.
Okay.
Sorry.
Can I have a tough time getting free agents?
Would you rather have either of those guys, Jordan Love or Justin Herbert, as your QB? Because it always depends on the coaching situation, right? So that's what I was trying to get at here.
Yeah. No, and I just didn't answer it succinctly or even really give an answer because I do respect Jordan Love's game. I just think the answer is Herbert. And I don't say that in a way to be controversial or piss people off because he hasn't proved it yet. But it's also year 5, and it's been disastrous every year that he's been in there.
My thought is I tend to agree with you. I think Herbert has something that Jordan hasn't either shown yet or doesn't have. And it's hard even saying that because like Jordan Love, by and by, I guess, has been a more successful quarterback. Is that correct in saying? Like in terms of
he's won a playoff game.
Like win
if you
percentage,
wanna go that.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's neither here nor there, I guess. But if I was starting a team anew, I'm going Justin Herbert. I don't know, just more proven, more weapons in the sheath, if you will.
Yeah.
And I think he's got a little bit of that it factor. Not that Jordan Love doesn't necessarily, but I just think if you put, like you said, if you put Justin in the right situation, he's gonna find that extra gear and get things done.
And I think this is kind of the intangible thing where like football players and former athletes kind of look down their nose at people who talk about advanced analytics or even like people who break down film but didn't play. There's just an intangible to both of those guys that you can't really resonate or like be able to quantify in any way. But like,
right.
If you walked into a locker room and saw Justin Herbert versus Jordan Love for a 1-game win, like I think I'd feel more comfortable with Herbert walking us out.
Sure. Yeah, that I 100% am with you there. I also realized the last recorded podcast, I say 100% too much, so I'm trying to refrain on that. That was my first one. Continue.
I think I wrote it in the notes just in the actual context of the teams that they play for. Because one, the Chargers are cursed, and I'll probably die before I see a Super Bowl from them. But the other side of that is the sustained culture and setup of the Packers. It's like they will put it all on the line to win. There's never really down seasons. Like in comparison to what the seasons are, there's down seasons, but like when was the last time there's a 2 or 3 win Packer team?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're onto something there, but I also do think that in being a Packer fan my entire life and seeing the amount of should have, probably could have wins that we should have had because we were supposed to have better draft picks or trade for a free agent wide receiver to bulk up the wide receiver room or whatever the case may be that we were missing. I just feel like there were so many seasons where like, yeah, we won 12, 13 games, but we also had arguably the best quarterback in the league at the time or the best thrower of the football, in the league at the time. And, because we were satisfied with trying to let him win games for us, with limited, weapons or limited, what have you. We just relied on that too much. So it was like, I had a lot of success over the last, or I enjoyed watching a lot of success over the last decade or two, but it's like, ultimately it ended up in one bowl. And sure, our floor has been like that. Our floor has been really low for a lot of these seasons, but I've been disappointed a lot.
Yeah.
Like I've
I get
ended the
that.
season. I've ended the season in disappointment. Freaking 18 out of 20 times. Now, granted, I love being in the playoffs every year, or whatever. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think also being a part of NDSU has tainted our perception of the playoffs.
Of success in general.
Right, because you go on to Twitter, like I go on Chargers Twitter, and people are like pumped that we made the playoffs.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, that's great. Like this is a huge step forward. Realistically, like unbiased, looking out of my lens, it was a great season. We picked 5th this year, and we went to the playoffs.
Right.
But then I look and I'm like, we lost to the fucking Texans in the first round. It's disgusting.
It's tough to please.
And same with the Packers too, though.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
if you're in the playoffs, why aren't you playing to win the damn thing?
Exactly.
But it's much harder to do in the NFL.
Right. And this is kind of like what we talked about last week. It's like there's only realistically a few teams that can win that thing too. But well, I guess in the NFL it's more any given Sunday than it is college, like we were talking about last week. But interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I love Jordan Love, and I'm absolutely ecstatic about the way that he's turned out in comparison to what I thought it might look like. But it's just too early to tell, in my opinion, for certain things. So I'm taking Herbert in that argument.
Well, dude, that's the other flip side, though, of like the difference between how the organization is structured of having him versus having Rodgers and Favre is that I don't think they'll ever realistically count on Love being the guy to carry them. So they know they have to build around them. You know?
And that's why I like
Which
LaFleur
isn't a bad
too.
thing.
Yeah. LaFleur, I think he understands a lot about Jordan and the type of successful quarterback that, let me rephrase that, the type of team that he has to have to build a successful quarterback with Jordan. It's like he gets that really well, and I think he honestly too is just a more modern era coach in terms of like how he deals with everything that goes along with that. So
LaFleur's a genius, dude.
He's great, but you talked about culture and like how the Pack have more of an established winning culture, but I mean, who better to take over an organization than somebody like Jim Harbaugh, who will flip a culture and did flip a culture damn near in a season. So,
dude, and it was like just from watching off-season stuff, that flip happened in like 5 weeks.
You could tell, dude. I mean, that you can just tell when a team is playing differently.
And they were just having fun again. It was the same stuff we saw with NDSU this year. And again, I tread lightly on this conversation because we have such personal ties to everybody. But like that NDSU team, dude, they beat the shit out of everybody this year. And it looked like when we were doing it, where we all just had fun and loved each other. Whereas like
flying around
the last few years before this year, it was kind of like playing with the fear of losing, and that you can't do that.
No. Yeah, I mean, you gotta. I think that's something that was really welcomed back into the NDSU atmosphere this year, was just like the excitement of just playing football for what it is, and that is a game and a sport, and something that should bring excitement to everybody, not bring anxiety about not winning another ship, because that's what it did come down to that. But Coach P does a great job, man. If there's one person to fire up the boys, it's going to be Coach P. So and that's what Coach Harbaugh has brought to Los Angeles, so fun to watch.
Hell yeah, man.
Do we want to go
Wait,
into
I
your
want to try something.
Go ahead.
I want to see if this works.
This is called live producing, folks.
Oh, you can't hear anything. Hold up.
I can hear it.
You can hear it?
Yeah.
The applause?
I can hear it.
Can't hear it. I have no snare in my headphones. All right.
I know.
Well, you figure that out.
I know what it is. I know what that is. So you connected to your little Vocaster thing or Rodecaster thing? Yeah. So your headphones would have to be plugged into that instead of into the computer. And then you could hear it. But that just recorded into that. It's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. All these. It's going to be a real problem for people listening to this if they actually like it, if I like really take the time to do my drops.
Wait, I can. Oh, my setup's the exact same right now. Never mind. I was going to say I can do it. Oh, that was sick. Wow. You have to say a really funny joke and then use that.
Jackson Brown, more like reverse Deshaun Watson. Hell yeah, man.
Wait, reverse Deshaun Watson, that's a good thing, right? Like being the opposite of Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, I was thinking of like instead of him jerking off on people, somebody's jerking off on him. Bro, you asked for the explanation. I don't know.
Golly. Do I have to cut that out? I don't think YouTube will allow us to monetize our 39 views that we get if I keep that in.
That's a problem we can deal with down the road.
Yeah, I guess. Make our 4 cents on YouTube.
Dude, I want you to dive into... There's no other context, but like... You were also keeping us updated when this was happening. I want you to dive into the second topic on here, Antonio Brown experience.
Oh, man. I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot that was on the list. Well, what made me think about it was, did you see that AB was on Theo Von's podcast?
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't watch it at all.
I listened to the first, I think, 12 minutes when I was walking my dog. And frankly, man, I couldn't keep going with it. It was tough to listen to. And Theo is awesome with how he is able to just like kind of blend into the situation and like just roll with shit. And I mean, that's why he's doing what he does. But anyway, so while I was on my walk, I thought about this story and the fact that I have had a very like personal, I've never told you this?
No,
this run-in I had with him.
I just know all the stuff when you were interning of like how you got your late call or whatever. So.
That's right, and you probably saw like my Snapchat stories that week or whatever. Okay, so I was down in Chicago getting my master's degree at the time, and I was during our final quarter, the last 3 months of my college tenure there, I had to do my thesis project, which was a documentary film. And the cool thing about the thesis project was you didn't have any class. Like, you were done with school pretty much. You were just like free to go finish your thesis. And so I was back and forth from Wisconsin to Minnesota to Chicago, finding side jobs, working for extra cash, doing all sorts of different stuff while finishing my documentary thesis project. And one of these things that I was doing at the time, this wasn't really like a side hustle. I was interning with Lyrical Lemonade, doing some random like video projects for them, like with their, just helping out with their podcast. And then I was doing mostly like written content for their website and helping out with like, I helped out in production assistance with one music video and did a couple just random little things for them. Anyway, I made a connection there with a guy by the name of Sal Tarantino. And he's from the
Italian ass name ever.
Right. He's from the Milwaukee area. Shout out Sal if you're listening. He actually might be listening. He's a ball knower and one of my good buddies. I love Sal. Sal, if you're watching, this story is hilarious.
Shout out Sal.
So shout out Sal, man. Huge Steelers fan. We got to get him on. I should call him right now. I literally should call him right now. So he's a massive Steelers fan growing up. And he works with Lyrical Lemonade back in the day. This was 5 years ago or so now. and he was doing some stuff with Lyrical Lemonade. For those who don't know, that's in the music industry. They do music videos and a bunch of other things with music media. And Sal makes a connection with Antonio Brown in like 2021 because it was COVID, and this was the time where he had like done his whole charade on field and then walked off and became just like, you know, a prominent figure in the media. And he's like doing like a tour of the country damn near, of just being like wild. And Antonio Brown's like, he shows up to like Summer Smash, the music festival that Lyrical Lemonade throws in Chicago, just shows up, and Sal like brings him on stage, and like obviously he's a lifelong Steelers fan, and like so he's like, you know, hanging with AB, and AB's trying to like rap. I don't know if you remember this part, like put that shit on, like he was coming out with this music and stuff, and he's like trying to perform and like throw concerts and stuff like this, and Sal tries to help him out. And obviously, like, there's some business opportunity there. Like,
of course,
you know, especially at that point, like, you don't really know at that point what AB's getting into yet.
Yeah.
But long story short, AB performs down at Lollapalooza, or excuse me, at one of the festivals down in Miami. And it goes up. Like, he gets like a bunch of fans out there watching him. Some of the stuff goes viral on social media. And Sal from Lyrical had organized it so that somebody he knew would build a stage setup for him. So AB's stage setup was put together by Sal. Sal organized the drop off of the stage setup, all this other stuff. And forgive me if I'm getting some of these details wrong. So AB has got a whole concert venue stage setup built for him, and it's down in Miami. The concert goes so well that Lollapalooza in Chicago wants him to come perform in Chicago 7 days later. We have all this stage set up, and by we, I mean literally Sal and whoever else was involved in this. I was not involved in this at the time. Sal, Sal knows that I had been kind of like hands in multiple pots at Lyrical, like helping out with certain random different things around town, getting side jobs, all this other stuff. So Sal calls me and he's like, I've got a problem and a business opportunity. Would you be able to fly down to Miami tonight? And I'm at my parents' house in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. And I am like, what's the situation? Like, whatever. He goes, so Antonio Brown, we did some work for him with this stage setup, and we need it transported from Miami to Chicago by Thursday. And this is like Monday night or Monday afternoon.
Jesus.
And I'm like, yeah, I mean, yeah, what is it paying? Essentially. So, at the time I'm broke, like in grad school. And so that night I hop on a flight that was like 2 hours, like 2.5 hours later out of Minneapolis. And I'm in Eau Claire, which is an hour and a half away. So I pack the bag as soon as I can. I'm like, Mom and Dad, see ya. I dip, fly to Miami, get there in the middle of the night. The next morning, that night, Sal's like, all right, you're going to meet Antonio at his training facility tomorrow, and you're going to grab all of his stage equipment after you go pick up, you know, a U-Haul essentially, to go get all the stuff. So he organizes a U-Haul for me. I pick the U-Haul up at 9 a.m. AB, I get a text from a number, I don't know, a Florida number, and it's like, meet me, here's the address, meet me at 10 a.m. So I get my moving truck, I get there at like 9:45. He didn't show up till about 11.
Oh my God.
Pulls up at 11 in the Rolls Royce, smoking a backwood out the window. And he pulls up, and I'm literally just like sitting out front of his shop. He has like a big ass trading facility. It's an old storage unit, or like a bunch of storage units that are like it's damn near like an airplane hangar. Like it's just a huge, you know, barn that's a training facility. And he was still working at the time to like play ball, and he's running routes in there and stuff. He lets me in. I'd take a look at all the stage setup, and I'm like, I don't know if I can fit this in the truck. And so I end up fitting it all in the truck by myself. Like Antonio did not help me at all. Like, I'm moving all of this, dude. I'm moving all of this stage equipment by myself while he is doing like, he's like running routes and like doing some stretches over to the side, smoking, like just, I don't know. It was the most interesting encounter. So I get all this stuff hauled in the truck, loaded in the truck, and AB parked his Rolls Royce right in front of the truck when he pulled up, and he hadn't moved it. So I'm like, yo, AB, you mind moving your car? I'm gonna get out of here soon. And he's like, oh yeah, man, here. Throws me the keys to his Rolls Royce. And I'm like, what?
You should just take it off.
Right? So I go hop in the Rolls Royce, and brother, this is a spaceship. I do not know what is going on. I don't know anything. I don't know where the ignition is. So after like 2 minutes like fiddling with everything, I like open the door. I'm like, AB, you got to show me how to start this thing, dude. So he shows me how to start it. This is my claim to fame. I drove AB's Rolls Royce around the block back to the front end of his parking lot. We get out, or I like get everything situated, and like as I'm leaving, I'm like, is there anything you need from me, man? Like, do I gotta sign anything, whatever? And he's like, nah, appreciate you, bro. Like, really appreciate you, all that. And I'll throw this on as like B-roll. He takes a selfie video with me, just out of nowhere, like out of nowhere.
Oh my God!
Like, pulls out a whatever, and
I've never seen that.
Yeah, and that was it. So after that, I've got a couple pictures in his facility, and I drove 24 hours or 26 hours to Chicago over the next day.
That's a long way, dude.
And
that's
then
southern Florida.
Yeah, man, the southern tip of Florida. And then I get back like a day and a half later. Lala starts in like 2-3 days. Drop everything off, and AB cancels. But
I mean, probably should have seen it coming, right?
Yeah, I mean, I got paid. I don't know if everyone involved got paid. That could be a different story, but I at least got paid. Shout out to Sal.
As long as you got taken care of.
That's a long story. I'm sorry, everybody. Maybe we'll put that in 1.5 speed, but that's like one of the stories that like I'll always think about now.
That's showbiz, baby. That's how shit happens in that world.
It is, man, and just being open to work and working hard for people. You never know who's paying attention and who's gonna give you a ring. So
that's kind of the weird thing. Like, I don't think a lot of people realize is like, I don't know. I see it a lot with like Barstool and shit. Like, very talented people. Almost nobody actually works hard.
No, I mean,
in like the entire landscape.
Well, it depends what you see as work.
Correct.
You have to, if you have a good mentality about things and you're able to zoom out and like see like, okay, in the grand scheme of things, this job is not a job. Like, this is incredible. The fact that I get to make money doing this stuff is great. Now, do you have to put a lot of time and effort into that stuff? For sure. But yeah, it's about your perspective on it. But
yeah, I think, well, I mean, Sal very easily could have just pieced out on you and not paid you. So stand up guy.
100%. Yeah, he's a good guy, man. Miss Sal. What else you want to talk about, man?
Well, we're already in. We're in the music world. I saw you put in Post Malone with Nirvana. Let's talk about that.
I literally saw. Oh my God. What's Nirvana's like damn near most popular song? It's like hello, hello, hello.
I'm gonna let you figure it out.
Is it called Hello?
No.
Oh. I don't listen to Nirvana, man. Sorry. Anyway, Posty.
It's all right.
Posty was killing it the other night for the SNL 50-year celebration or whatever, and I just thought it was really cool how all the Nirvana band members were like smiling and geeking out the whole time while Post was singing. That's like how happy they were with it. Did you see that clip?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you did. That's all I had to say about it. That was just enough.
Yeah.
Are you
So
a Nirvana guy? Are you like making fun of me right now?
no.
It's all right.
I am a
man.
Nirvana
I can
guy
take it.
because that's
Okay.
well. Pause.
Come on.
Got your ass. My dad grew up in the grunge era. Like he was 12 years old in 1990, so like kind of the prime age for that. And it's funny, like if you ask people that are in that world, Nirvana was just the most commercially successful, but they weren't necessarily the best. So they know you're like a poser if you're like, yeah, my favorite band is Nirvana. But
interesting.
yeah, I think I respect Posty for giving it a shot. That's a hard one to go after. One, because of all the lore, and two, because of how successful Nirvana was on their own.
And not to mention just like the vocal difficulty of that song too.
Well, that's the other funny part is that like Kurt Cobain sucked at singing. Like everybody, like
really.
So if we're getting really into the weeds here, we should do like a separate music podcast where like you give me more insight on your world that you're interested in, and I'll give you more insight on mine. But like,
no, I'm fascinated by what you're saying right now. So please continue.
So like Kurt, one, struggled with himself, his own perception of his talent because he was so successful, but like also thought he sucked, which obviously we know what his demise was and how he took his own life. But so he obviously was dealing with those mental hurdles to begin with. But he's surrounded by Lane Staley. He's lead singer of Alice in Chains. He's surrounded by Eddie Vedder, lead singer of Pearl Jam. He's surrounded by Chris Cornell, lead singer of Soundgarden and Audioslave, and just like actual savants and truly some of the most talented singers of all time. And then he just sounds like shit. And that's
I
all.
never thought he sounded like shit from the 4 songs I know.
He doesn't, but when he was. It's just like anything, right? Like if you're the most successful, but you're not actually a virtuoso, you're just commercially successful, you're going to have haters.
Sure.
And that's where, like a lot, it's like this whole weird thing. But everybody was clowning Post. And it's like, one, he's singing that song live.
Really?
Two, he's, yeah. There was a lot of people shitting on Posty.
Oh.
But
I thought it was great.
It was exactly what they were going for. If you listen to it, none of them are in time. They're all playing loud and thrashy over himself, and Post is like singing guttural. Like he's not aiming to hit notes, and that is what grunge music was.
Right,
dude. It was just like angry, pissed off vitriol that came out in their music. That's what it was. That's what the entire era was designed to sound like. Or not designed to, but that's what it sounded like. That's what it was characterized by. You know, like this teenage angst, and grunge was formed after this like rebellion against hair metal. And they're like, this shit fucking sucks. Like you're wearing like glitter and long hair and makeup. Fuck you guys. We'll show you what real music is. And it's 22-year-old Kurt Cobain and Dave Grohl and Lane Staley and all these incredible musicians that kind of bred themselves out of what they were feeling at that time, and honestly out of the same area. Like a lot of that was based in Nirvana or in Seattle, excuse me, which is kind of crazy that they were the hotbed for like an entire generation worth of music and entire genre.
It must have been something in the rain there.
Yeah, dude, you're bummed out if you're in Seattle.
Yeah, there you go. Interesting. Oh.
Just gave you the rim shot.
But this is music theory with Zach Willis.
Yeah, I mean, that shit really is interesting to me because, like, I just grew up listening to it, and then, like, I hear my dad talk about it when I was a kid, and like, oh, this sucks, or this is why he wrote this. Like, that shit's always interesting to me.
Huh. I've never,
but
see go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, along the same lines as Posty is like, I respect him. And it's a hard conversation because I'm a white guy, and like he's perceived a lot online that I see as like kind of a culture vulture. That like he dove into hip hop right away, and that's how he became commercially successful. And now he's going into the country and rock stuff. But I feel like he's acknowledged that, right? Like that, like, hey, I'm an outsider to the hip hop community, and I feel like he's been respectful through the whole thing rather than like fuck rap. I'm not doing this anymore. You know.
Well, I find it interesting that, like, I mean, let's just face it, when you're a late teen and early 20-year-old person, it's like you have no idea what your personality is going to bring out and what sort of music you're going to like when you're 18 versus 25 or whatever the case may be. And like at that point, he was listening to rap, more into rap music, but he'd always been into the things that, you know, the music that he's trying to emulate now, or you know, at least in the same category. And but anyway, I don't know. I think that's just kind of lame because first off, all of his music that he's ever made is good. So I mean, the art speaks for itself. But
yeah,
interesting.
Very obviously a talented human, and like I don't also like I don't know if when you're 17, 18, 19, however old he was when White Iverson came out, you like really grasp the entire context of like rap music and white people taking advantage in the space. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he was doing it to be disrespectful. He just liked how that music sounded, so he made a song that sounded like it.
Yeah, and
White Iverson is quite possibly one of the greatest songs ever made. So,
oh my god, dude! Some of those, I mean, that was my most listened to song from like 2015 to 2017 every year. I think all 3 years
so
that was my
good,
most listened to. It's so good. And I don't know what it was about it, but or I guess I don't know what it is about Posty's music in general. He just makes shit that sounds good. I mean, that's all it comes down to. So more music. Kendrick Lamar halftime performance. Any thoughts?
So I think two things can be true in this conversation at one time.
Uh-oh.
I love Kendrick, and I love, like we just talked about with grunge, I love the deeper meanings into the societal context of music, right? To avoid sounding like Anthony Fantano. But like I love that Kendrick is usually rapping about other shit than what he's actually saying in his raps. But you're also not turning on Kendrick to like blast on the boat, you know? Like he's not turning out heaters like that. He has a couple that I think you can turn on as party music, but like Kendrick is like
not as much anymore either. Too like it used to be different. I think when he was younger, but
right. You turn on To Pimp a Butterfly. There's a few on there. You turn on, you know, Money Trees. You turn on
Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah, I mean, there were some real like, but I also think that, and if he talked about it retrospectively, that was probably what he was going through at that point in his life. And now you see like Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, and he's talking about like his failures as a human and as a man, as a father, as a husband, and like how he's correcting these things, right? And then like you hear "Damn," and that's more of like a biopic, a storytelling. But also, I mean, you're into that sort of? Is that like when you listen to music? Are you more in it for the story or the sound? It depends what kind of mood I'm in.
Okay.
Like if I'm truthfully like if I'm just driving to work in the morning, like I want a heater. I want something that I can crank to
just fires you up,
100% volume,
blood flowing.
Yeah. But then like if I just have, and it comes in, I don't have a desire really to like constantly listen to music. Like that's not my ambient sound choice. You know, if that makes sense. Yep. Where people just turn music on in the background and that's what they listen to. Like I will be sitting at work. I'm like, man, I really want to listen to Sturgill Simpson. And then a catalog like that, like his, you can dive into, okay, I want the shit that I can listen at 100% volume, but I also want to listen to shit that's telling a story. And I think that's literally the two sides of the same coin with Drake and Kendrick of like, okay, I want to listen to Pound Cake when like I'm getting fucked up and we're pre-gaming before we go out to the bars, or I want to listen to Damn and like appreciate some artistry, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that like for me it's just like, I don't know, do I enjoy the music first? Like, do I enjoy how it makes sounds and like how the sounds sound? And then from there, I tend to move outward from there. It's like if I don't like how a sound or how a song sounds, I'm not gonna probably listen to it much again in the future. Now, will I respect a song that doesn't maybe appeal to my ear but has like a lot of meaning in it? Sure. But am I gonna listen to it a lot in the future?
And like how a song sounds is very, very low on my list of disqualifiers.
Sure.
Like if I know there's like, dude, again, talking about like shitty singers, Bob Dylan is one of the worst performers of all time, but quite possibly the greatest musician of all time. Like lyric wise, what he was writing about. But I'm still going to listen to his music, even though it sucks to my ears. And I think you and I got in that argument during the Drake and Kendrick beef, like the initial thing where you're like, okay, well, Drake sounds better. Oh, that's just perception and how you like to listen to music. Because I listen to Kendrick's and read the lyrics, and I'm like, he just called him and his crew a pedophile 14 times. That seems like an ending to a rap beef. But again, it's just all about how you perceive and consume music.
I've been, multiple people have like said to me the same thing, where it's like, how do you not just like, I don't kind of what you're saying. It's just like that should put the end to it for me. And I'm like, maybe it puts an end to the beef, but for me, like, I'm still going to listen to Drake more. It's not that I don't agree that Kendrick won the beef or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, look at us, man. Two northern Midwest white guys talking hip hop rap beefs. Somebody's gonna clip this and we're gonna get really embarrassed.
I don't care, because it's also that does show. Well, one, I'll fucking make fun of you back, but the other side of it is that like that does show how that beef transcended society. 100%. Like it broke in, or my dad's like, what is Kendrick talking about? I'm like, what do you mean? Right. But like when you look at like Jay-Z and Nas, that was in rap and hip hop circles. Ether and that whole beef going back and forth. Fucking just Eminem and Ja Rule,
way bigger. Yeah.
I mean, he won a Grammy for a diss song.
Right.
Which is That's funny wild. That one of Drake's lines was Kendrick just opened his mouth, now hand him a Grammy.
Wow.
Which is kind of a diss against Kendrick, obviously, that like he has a bunch of meat riders in the industry, but it's also like you're just proving that everything Kendrick does turns to gold.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just going to say. It's like, it's kind of just giving the man his flowers.
Right. Yeah. I think, what was your whole perception of J. Cole in that entire thing? Like, smart business decision or pussy?
I don't feel like, honestly, I took interest in that whole thing enough to have an opinion on that. But like, I mean, I think the guy should just do whatever he wants, and if that's how he chose to go about it, I'm sure he had his reasons, and just, I don't know. I wouldn't want to be wrapped up in it, honestly. So I'd probably withdraw my name pretty quickly. But
yeah, it was all just kind of weird because like I'd have to like really dive in to remember the origins perfectly. But I think it was either Drake or Kendrick had been like throwing subtle jabs for years. Where he's like, "There's no top three. It's just me." Like things like this. And then I think it was either J. Cole or Drake that was like, well, we're the kings of the rap right now, and Kendrick is like, do not keep my name out your fucking mouth.
Right. Right. Yeah,
And
like they didn't
which
have to
is
do that.
right.
Or if they were going to do that, I mean, be prepared. I guess.
Dude, I think that's the underrated part is that Kendrick is an actual crazy person. You know what I mean? Like he is insane enough to bank like 12 disses for every time Drake drops. He has one 10 minutes later. It was everything about the music that like encapsulated and intrigued me so much. Where it was things like that, where like Drake shot the video where he put the "To Pimp a Butterfly" van on the tow truck.
See, I don't even know any of this.
Or was that Good Kid, Mad City that the van was on the cover? No, it's "To Pimp
Good
a
Kid,
Butterfly."
Mad City. No, Good Kid, Mad City.
I'm so white.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
we're
that's
getting
a
clowned
minivan.
officially.
Yeah, we're officially getting clowned.
But like in that video, I think it was whatever Drake's second to last or last diss was like "All in the Family" or "Family Matters." I think that's what it was called.
Sure.
And then Kendrick has a response 10 minutes later.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty nuts. Yeah, that's pretty
What is
insane.
going on, dude?
Yeah, you're right. We're in a, yeah, that's it's a different era of that sort of thing. Oh my god.
Yeah. Last thing on that. The Drake had some questionable bars. I think he cooked Kendrick in some spots, but when it was not the response he thought it was when he said, "We expected that Epstein shit," or whatever.
Dude, see, like I don't even know what you're talking about right now.
Yeah. So
I don't even know.
After
Drake said that?
I think, yeah. So it was after Kendrick dropped "Not Like Us." It was like
Okay.
Certified Lover Boy, Certified Pedophile, the whole thing.
Uh-huh.
In Drake's response, I think is the timeline. He wrote like, "We expected that Epstein shit. It's played out," and it's like, what? What do you mean you expected that?
Yeah, oh my god.
I'm gonna find the actual bar.
What do you think? Never mind. I'm not gonna say that.
So, yeah. So in The Heart Part 6, he said, "If I was fucking young girls, I promise I'd have been arrested. I'm way too famous for the shit you just suggested."
What?
Yeah. So yeah, the line that I was talking about, this Epstein angle was the shit I expected. What are you talking about, brother?
Bruh, why would you even? I don't know why you would put that name in the same name as anything you say in a song.
Yeah.
Please do not.
But it's also like I get, and it's just more in like the culture thing of rap that like if somebody steps on your line or disrespects you, you have to stand up for yourself, right? Like that's kind of how it is.
Yeah, it's just the way of the road.
Drake also should have been self-aware enough that like this is a different arena. That like both of you, hey, time out, kids. Drake, you stay in your corner. Kendrick, you stay in yours, and you mind your business.
I mean, why can't we just all have our own little corner of the music industry or little niche and just stay in it, man? Everyone's got to beef all the time, Zach.
We also went through that whole thing and didn't talk about the halftime show.
Yeah, wow. Well, you kind of you started the tangent on it. It was
succinctly. I want to wrap it up. If that was a performance outside of the halftime show, I'm all in. I loved it. Super Bowl halftime, I want bangers, I want heaters, I want 20 minutes of shit that makes me bob my head, and that was not that.
It reminded
me
of
things can be true.
Yep, I agree. It reminded me of like a show that should have been done on Saturday Night Live or something.
Yeah,
a little bit more.
A Grammys performance, even.
Yeah, I mean the Super Bowl is a party, man, and I want to fire up. And
yeah.
I mean, I knew every single song that he performed, but it's also like there's so many others that you could be using from the arsenal, man, to get this place fired up and to let your name go down in history. But I think you can't set the precedent that whatever city you're in
the best performer from that city should perform, but I think Lil Wayne should have been the halftime show.
Bingo.
That would have been, I mean, Wayne could have done 2 hours of a show of songs everybody knows.
They missed.
Yeah.
They kicked wide right on that one.
Yeah, but like, I think Lil Wayne could be a halftime performer no matter where it is. It's just the fact that it was New Orleans and he wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
And I mean,
so go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, Kendrick could obviously too. Like, he could go literally anywhere and do the exact same thing.
Dude, next year's is in San Francisco.
So what the fuck? Yeah. I don't know.
Just
like,
flip-flop.
Come on.
An E40 halftime show would be very funny. We're at the Super Bowl.
I mean,
am I going to get canceled for my E40 impression?
Probably by so many people that are listening.
That's Trey's boy, dude. They're tight.
Yeah, that's right. You're courtside a few times or something. Yeah. I mean, overall though, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the halftime show. So, I mean, that's what it comes down to. Did we enjoy it? I enjoyed it.
We've talked a lot of music, but I do want to stay in this topic. It's an interesting conversation of like, who do you think should be on the short list for next year or upcoming shows? Me and Quinn have talked extensively about this.
Wonder what Quinn's doing right now. Changing a diaper.
Yeah, something lame. I think I get that it has to be the right scenario to me for a rap artist. Like Lil Wayne in New Orleans would have been incredible. Mm-hmm. The one in L.A. with all the rappers, with Dr. Dre and all those guys worked. But
worked great.
Like, I think pop and rock just translate perfectly to a Super Bowl halftime show.
I would agree.
I think Posty would kill it.
Post would be incredible. I think that's someone we'll see in the next five years, probably.
Yeah, he's big enough. He will do it.
I think so. That's a good question, man. Maybe like Colby Calais.
I had a big crush on her, bro. When I was a kid.
Starts from my toes, makes me crinkle my nose.
Wherever it goes, I always know.
Bang.
I'm a big Colby guy.
Maybe The Fray. Linkin Park.
Well, that gets a little more difficult.
That's so fucked. Damn it. We just
you
got
said it, not
again.
me.
We just got clipped again. I gotta pee so bad, Zach. I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Go piss, dude.
Oh man, Lexi made some slow roasted, or what the hell do you call it? I don't know. Chicken in a holy shit, dude. My brain is not working. in a roaster. What's it called?
A crock pot?
A crock pot.
Jesus Christ. Bro's talking like he's a little mermaid.
I'm sorry. Lexi's making some crock pot chicken, and it smells so good. So we gotta get rapping here in the next 15, 20. What else we gotta talk about, man? We can wrap up that. Oh, what were we? We were talking about. Artists that you would like to see at the halftime show. Yeah. Did we wrap that? With
not
the
really.
Calais comment.
Yeah, I mean it was over at that point. Yeah, but Quinn earnestly suggested Imagine Dragons today, and that made me want to find him at work and do bad things to him.
He was not being serious, right?
Yes, he was.
Does Quinn listen to Imagine Dragons?
Quinn has the worst music taste of any human alive.
Oh my god!
You hear
no
my
wonder
dog
he was
barking?
asking for playlists. Yeah, just barely though. No wonder he was asking for playlists last year to go to the gym. Yeah, because if you're listening
so
to
bad,
Imagine
man.
Dragons in the gym, you're doing it wrong.
Dua Lipa would be incredible.
Yeah.
Halftime. Like, she actually
Yeah,
has
I think-
heaters.
Oh, she does for sure. Plus, that would
Kelly
just
Clarkson.
attract a very large audience. Kelly Clarkson.
Bangers.
I mean,
You say
there's a
Colby
couple,
Kelly.
I
I'll hear
guess.
none of. A couple. Do not
She's got a
disrespect her like
couple.
this.
Breakaway is my number one. What's your number one?
Yeah, probably that.
I spread my wings and I learned how
That's so
to fly. I do what it takes. Banger. Maybe
I have a
like-
couple. Let me throw them out at you. I said Daft Punk makes a comeback for the first time since 07. That'd be sick.
Wow.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
No.
Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny.
No.
Why you hating?
No comment. I just don't. I don't like if I want to be fired up at halftime, and I'm sorry, Bad Bunny does not fire me up.
What about Biebs?
Yeah, I mean, you could make a
think he could do
definite
it.
argument there. You could make a definite if he had the right. I think if he had the right track list, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Is there anyone else we're missing on that short list? There's a lot of people that I would be thoroughly enjoyed by, but it's not Bad Bunny.
Tame Impala.
Sure.
Nicki Minaj.
Ooh, I know some people who would be fired up about Nicki Minaj.
Just bring back Maroon 5. They already did it, but that'd be great.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember that. That was probably really good, huh?
2019, Maroon 5, Travis Scott, and Big Boy.
That's a hell of a trio.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe like Coldplay.
I think they've done it already too.
Damn, really?
They did. 2016. Coldplay,
Jesus
Beyonce, and Bruno
Christ.
Mars.
I don't remember any of this. See, but what's with all these trios here? I don't remember any of these.
I don't know what the common tie is between any of those three groups of Coldplay, Beyonce, and Bruno.
There is none. They were just trying to reach all target audiences, I think.
Quinn said Doja Cat just for the discourse.
That'd be good. I like Doja Cat. She's got a couple good bangers.
Paint the Town Red. That one's fire.
Uh-huh.
Could Ariana do it?
No. Not yet.
Taylor?
Yeah. I mean, she could do whatever she wanted, I feel like.
I know people hate Taylor Swift for so many reasons. I think a halftime 20-minute Taylor Swift show would have very high approval.
Dude, I mean,
You disagree?
How many? No, absolutely not.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like it would be a easy answer, right? With like just
Yeah.
how many eyeballs are on her. I don't know. It'd
Dude.
probably be good though. It depends. Yeah, it all depends on what these people play, in my opinion. But
That's if. Have you ever delved into Miley's like rock covers?
no, but I did see her
If she
perform
did
last
those,
night.
dude,
Sure.
she covers Metallica, she covers some Fleetwood Mac. Like Miley would be a sweet halftime show.
Yeah, she kills it. She did great when
Yeah.
I watched her last night.
She's incredible live.
You saw her live?
No, I just all of her live performances.
Yeah. True.
Her live album is one of the ones you can turn on to 100% volume and just go.
Just let her rip.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
How do you feel
concert
about
you've
Blue
ever
Mountain
been
State?
to? Oh, Blue Mountain State, the show.
Yeah. I will
Dude,
answer your question after this, though.
I think I watched Blue Mountain State like for one season or two, maybe like at the beginning of college. So I don't know. I don't know.
Good, because that shit is fucking terrible. It just got renewed for another season.
Really?
Dude, there's people like
how many seasons are there?
I think 4.
Oh, okay.
Like dudes our age were the exact demographic to watch that when it first started, and it sucks.
Yeah, it's I
Just
it doesn't
slop
do
for-
anything for me.
Slop for the common folk. Let's really get clipped.
Really into Severance right now. Have you watched Severance?
We have to restart the first season. There's a lot of stuff that we forgot.
Go back and just be patient with those first 3 episodes, and then let her ride. I mean,
Dude, it's
my
so good,
goodness,
though.
I'm enthralled. Yeah.
I've loved the your Audi blank memes.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I could sever myself.
You work at home, dog.
Wait, yeah, how would that work for work from home people?
I have no idea.
Just like a door to the basement.
Yeah.
It's like you got a pair of flip-flops down at the bottom of the stairs that you got to put on in order for your severed self to come into, for your innie to come into play.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting concept.
Would you do it? Like, is work that like if you say you're not doing Muse, if you were working an actual 9 to 5, is that so unbearable to you that you want to separate yourself?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. But I mean, I'll tell you what, it was pretty unbearable. It was terrible. Maybe not enough to separate my personality into two consciousnesses, but pretty unbearable.
Yeah, dude, it sucks, but like at the risk of sounding cliche, like working 9 to 5 and like just getting like I don't have a bad job, but like there are days you just get through it, right? Like you just have to punch the clock and get your work done.
Yeah.
It makes me love coming home and seeing my dogs and my fiance and then like playing video games and fucking off, doing whatever I want for the rest of the day.
Isn't that
a lot more than I would if I sat at home and just did that all the time?
Right. And that's a funny part too. Like for me, I mean, I've developed a very good routine now, but like when you're at home all the time and you don't separate your work life from your home life, it's just kind of all in one.
Right.
Oof. It's
I think
it's interesting.
I think you'll really dig what you do, just like I did with Big Deck, where like I was running the business out of our apartment. But once you get to the point with Muse where you either have your own studio or you have like multiple employees, like you'll really enjoy. You're punching a clock for yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
You just can't have the overhead costs right now. It doesn't make sense.
Right. I'll get to that day. Speaking of work, I'm heading to Palm Beach, Florida next week, Monday, a week from today. Last minute work trip, and going to film 4 different pieces of content in 3 days. 2 different like training / golf coaching sessions, 1 podcast live streamed at the. Do you know what TGL is? Have you seen TGL, like the indoor golf league? So
it's actually intriguing.
It's very interesting. I'm very curious to see it in person. But get to go to that and get to film in there, and then we're filming like a YouTube golf 9-hole video as well. So this was all super last minute. I am so excited to get out of the cold, enjoy some days down in Florida, and then I'm gonna stay a couple extra days and soak up some UV. But
Yeah, dude, we should either find a way to do something remote or bank
I'd
these.
record one down there.
Yeah, because we might have to do that because I'm headed to Vegas, not next week, but the week after. So we'll kind of have a weird overlap.
We'll figure it out.
I'm sure our
man.
dedicated thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of listeners are waiting
If
on
anyone
everything
is
we
listening,
say.
yeah, if anyone is listening to this at this point, leave a
Sicko.
comment below because I'll send you $20. Seriously.
Yeah.
You're disgusting and you deserve to be punished. Sorry.
So I'm sending you
anything-
$20.
Anything else, Zach? I mean, this conversation was all over the place. We touched on a lot of bases. Anything else you got to say?
Let's close out with the Jonathan Martin topic.
Who's Jonathan Martin?
So last night, an expose came out, or an article came out, basically exonerating Richie Incognito of any wrongdoing in his bullying case.
Really? Oh, is
Yep.
that the guy? That's the guy
Yep.
that Richie bullied,
Yeah.
quote unquote?
Well, allegedly, yes, but didn't bully.
What? Fully exonerating him?
He did an article interview with some lady, and he basically said that, like, he wanted to quit the NFL. He just wasn't in the right mind space, or like wasn't cut out for it, whatever. So his mom like crafted this whole way to like have an amicable leaving, and it was to say Incognito bullied the shit out of him.
No. Come on.
And apparently like
That's-
that
Could you imagine
he doesn't
your
talk to his mom
life's-
because of that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So the mom didn't even approach the son with this whole story that she crafted.
No, she did. It was her idea.
But he just went along with
Yes.
it? And then okay,
Yes.
got it.
And then when he got tired of like keeping that facade up, he probably wanted to tell the truth.
Sure.
And she didn't want that.
Worst of all time award. The WOTE.
Wote.
As Zach has written here in the notes. That is a terrible way to do it. You know,
Yeah.
there's something to be said about these old fables that were taught to us as young kids, and The Boy Who Cried Wolf is one of those fables. And
Yeah,
granted, I don't know if Jonathan Martin's done this multiple times in his life, but man, that's brutal, man. Ruined a guy's career, probably costed him hundreds of thousands of dollars or more.
I mean, Richie was one of the best guards in the NFL, and that whole thing like kind of put a stink on him.
Yeah.
Obviously,
trailer on
Richie
his hitch, for
Incognito is an insane person. Like he threw that dumbbell at that guy at the gym, and then like Will Compton told a story that like some frat dudes beat the shit out of a freshman at Nebraska, and he went in himself and like broke the door down and like beat the shit out of 3 guys.
Oh my God.
He's
Wow,
an
I
insane
never
guy.
heard that. Yeah,
Cordell Volson
that-
coded.
Sure. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that Richie Incognito probably said and did some things that he shouldn't have in his day, but that fabrication is crazy.
Well, that's the other thing that I kind of wanted to touch on is that like if actual reporters got a true insight of like the shit we would say to each other in the locker room, they would think that we're the worst humans alive.
Yep. And that goes for so many different groups of people, whether that is sports teams or work cubicles.
Think even if just
or
like the group chat leaked,
yeah. I mean,
we'd all be out of jobs.
yeah, there's a lot of group chats out there that need to be FBI inspected. Or don't, or not, I should say.
Yeah, I was going to say, why are you telling on yourself?
Let me cut that out. I just snitched on myself.
But yeah, I think the truth probably lies somewhere in the middle of I don't think Richie Incognito was like telling Jonathan Martin to kill himself, but I also think that like Richie was probably
bullied him.
just busting balls. Yeah.
Yeah, being an asshole, but like,
Yeah. But Richie's doing a
what?
big old victory lap on socials the last 24 hours, as is well deserved. Oh yeah,
As he should. As he should.
he was dunking on Florio. He was shouting or like shitting on Schefter. And he was shouting out the Barstool Boys for like having his back the whole time.
That's hilarious. Richie Incognito, best seat of the week as to take a segment from the green light.
Yeah, dude. Has to be up there.
Best seat, Richie Incognito.
Shout
Well,
out
Zach.
Greenlight, by the way. One, they retweeted our post last week.
Yeah, that was
Two,
cool.
some of the best merch in the game. The Greenlight hoodie is fire.
It looks great, and I'm all for simple. I've always been a very simple guy when it comes to my apparel, and I'm really, really a fan of just the Kelly green text, the black hoodie. Looks sharp. Shout out Reed. Shout out allegedly Cowboy.
Allegedly.
Anything else, Zach, before we hit this outro music?
I mean, I was going to drop something, but no, we can get out of here.
No, what do you think? We can keep. What are you thinking? We can just cut this,
I don't know. I forgot.
bro. It wasn't any of these that you marked in here.
No. It's going to be off the cuff. What about you? You got anything?
I don't know. I feel like we didn't end with anything too exciting the last 30 minutes. I'm trying to think if there's any way we can end it off on a high note.
All right. Fuck, marry, kill.
Bro.
How do you eat your ice cream, Jaxon?
I'm just really glad they never posted that clip. Like, it would have done numbers on their accounts, but that was a tough look.
Shout out Drew, man.
That was
He wants to come on.
who?
I just thought of Drew
What'd you
Smiley,
say?
the baseball player. I fucked that up.
I was like, who?
Yeah.
Yeah, Smiley wants
Smiley
to get on
Kaufman?
this. Yep. Smiley wants
Yeah,
to come on the pod here. I think we're going to start a new segment called the Unexpected Caller segment. And I am going to just call someone to be included on the podcast. I'm going to FaceTime them, get their face in front of the screen, and just see what happens.
Should I try
think
one
that'd
right
be
now?
fun. Yeah. Who are you calling? Ty Brooks?
No.
Oh.
He's not cleared for...
For airwaves.
Yeah. Let's try this. I doubt this works, but...
The person you are trying to reach is not accepting calls at this time. Please try your call again later.
One guess to guess who I called.
Trey Lance.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, hold up.
Damn, are you blocked?
It might be. I just don't have the
No,
bad phone.
He's got like 5 different phones probably.
Zach Willis.
Hello, Jack Albrecht.
What's up?
I'm just recording with Jaxon. You're part of our unexpected caller segment this week.
Oh, shit. Oh, am I allowed to swear?
You can say whatever you want. Shit, fuck. Fuck.
Hey, I got something for you.
What?
Could you hear that?
Did you try to fart into the mic?
No, I just flushed the toilet.
Oh, very cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey Zach,
What's
ask
new and exciting?
Go ahead, Jax. What are you saying?
ask Jack
Is he talking?
what his-
I can't hear him.
Yes, I'll relay the message.
ask him what his favorite dark lager is.
Jaxon is wondering what your favorite dark lager is.
Dark lager?
Yeah.
Honestly, not a big fan of lagers.
Oh.
I don't know.
I ruined the
Off the top
segment.
of my head, I don't know. I can't even name a dark lager. Give me an example.
I don't know. I'd put like Yingling up there.
English pretty good. I've only had it like once.
It's good. It's a good beer. Give me your top 3 New Glarus products instead.
Moon Man #1.
It's bullshit.
Spotted Cow, you just got to put in there because you gotta. And probably Fat Squirrel. That's pretty good. Good brown ale.
Haven't tried that one yet. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, it's a good one.
All right, that's all I needed, pal.
they-
Thanks.
Okay, see ya.
See ya. I like that segment.
That's good, dude. It adds a little flavor to the pod.
We're just keep in touch with the boys.
Keep in touch with the boys. That's what we should do, is just call someone so random from the team every week.
You have to call Jimmy Kaporis next week.
I'm so in. I'll call Jimmy Kaporis next week. I'll do
And then
it.
I'll actually figure out how to call on my phone so we can actually talk to everybody. But yeah.
All right, man. Well, I don't know if anyone is still listening, but appreciate anyone for sticking around. If you did, we're gonna keep making this thing better and better every week. Some returning segments, some unexpected callers, hopefully some guests. Keese wants to come on, so we
hell
can
yeah.
get we'll get Keese on. We can set up a little camera situation over here that'll include him, and we'll be dialed.
Can we get Eric Bachmeyer?
That would be fun.
Did Easton just get married? Is that who got married?
Yes, he did. Yep.
Good for
last
him,
weekend.
man. Good for you.
Congratulations, Easton Stick. I play
My favorite
sim
Chargers
golf.
quarterback.
Wow, that's saying something. I play sim golf league with Eric every Wednesday, so I'll see him.
Nice,
on
very
Wednesday.
nice.
Yep. That is the Role Player Podcast. I am Jaxon Brown. He is Zach Willis. Appreciate you sticking around. Peace.